Hi guys, Jumble here. Today I'm going to make a video about Chairi Malformation. This video will contain a little bit of basic knowledge about what Chairi Malformation is. It'll also give you a little bit of personal insight and a bit of personal experience. So what is Chairi Malformation? So essentially Chairi Malformation is when the base of the brain drops down to the base of the spinal cord due to a lack of space in the base of the skull. Now usually Chairi Malformation is caused during the development within the womb. I don't think neurologists know why exactly caused, but it's basically due to development. So when the baby is born, unfortunately Chairi Malformation is already set up in a way to develop. Like I said before, I don't think they really know what causes it. Just something that occurs during development of a baby. So because of the base of the brain is essentially squished, and because there's a lack of space in the brain, is actually a reason for why we get known symptoms of Chairi Malformation. Now these symptoms are often causes of headaches, difficulty in walking, coordination, speech, vision, and it can also cause emotional issues. There are various other symptoms, but I shall not go into all of them at the moment. But the reason for these symptoms are caused again due to the back of the base of the brain that's getting squished. Now at the base of the back of the brain, we have parts of the brain known as the cerebrum and occipital lobe. Now these can be found just at the base of the brain, which is your cerebrum is around this area, and the occipital lobe is around this area just at the top. Now I think these could be reasons for why we have the symptoms of vision. So for example, the occipital lobe, because the brain is dropped down to the bottom towards the spinal cord, there isn't basically space for the brain to sit. So the occipital lobe is getting damaged or is getting squished over time, which is causing issues of vision. The cerebral lobe, for example, is again just below the occipital lobe and causes, basically essentially for our coordination and development of balance, and is for us, is to allow us for walking. Again, with this issue of the cerebrum being dropped below the spinal cord, causes problems of walking and balance issues. We also have a temporal lobe, which I believe is for speech and language. I might be wrong in saying that, but it's also for some emotional responses. Again, the issue with the temporal lobe, if there's not enough space for the temporal lobe, that's where speech and language issues can be caused. But overall, with the effect of the back of the base of the brain being crushed, has a knock-on effect on the whole brain. So as you can imagine, that's why essentially headaches are caused. So overall, there are also types of Chairi Malformation. I believe that goes from the first, second, and third, and then there's a fourth type. I might be incorrect in saying that, but essentially the first type is the most common. So essentially it's just the base of the brain dropping back down to the spinal cord. Type 2 and type 3 forms of Chairi Malformation are the same again, the base of the brain dropping into the spinal cord, and also causes added issues of spinal bifida and hydrocephalus, I believe, which is fluid on the brain. I'm now going to give you some personal experience about what Chairi Malformation is from a first-hand point of view. So I was diagnosed around 2006 with Chairi Malformation type 2, which is what I've mentioned before, is the base of the brain dropping into the spinal column with the added issue of hydrocephalus, which is fluid on the brain. So I was diagnosed, like I say, in 2006. Probably had issues reoccurring, symptoms of headaches, vision issues, probably some, I think, yeah, if I remember rightly, some speech, and balance. And there's also added symptoms of what I was really bad neck pain, and sometimes what they also class as clumsiness. I used to have issues of, if there was a doorway, I couldn't walk straight through it, I'd walk into the side of it first. At the time I had no reason or conscious reason of why I was doing these kind of things. So it was actually quite a weird time. So yes, 2006 I was first diagnosed. We first went to the GP, me and my parents, because it actually got to a point where the headaches were just too unbearable. So we went to the doctor, and the doctor asked us to go to the hospital and asked us first for an x-ray and just to double check everything with blood samples, for etc. Everything in my body was healthy. But the only thing they didn't ask was for an MRI scan, which I believe my dad insisted that I have. So a few days later, me and Dad went to the hospital, had the X-ray, and had the MRI scan, as well as a few other tests. A couple of days later, we got a phone call saying we got the results back from the X-ray and the MRI scan. And also, we could see the doctor that afternoon on the phone call. So at this point, me and my mum went up, and we were given the results of what had been scanned for, basically. The X-ray showed a curvature in the spine, which I believe is also a possible cause of Chairi Malformation. Again, something that develops in the womb during the development of the baby. And the MRI showed, obviously, that the base of my brain had dropped down to the back of the spinal cord. And from there on, it was hard to believe. There was some relief kind of thing, but hard to accept at the time. But anyway, there were a few days later we had an appointment to see the neurologist. So the neurologist, he gave me some observational tests. So there was that thing where they do the things like follow my finger, keep your head straight and use your eyes and whatnot. Also walk in a straight line, which I couldn't do at the time. There was also, I think he did like some kind of speech saying so you do oohs, all the vowels and all that. and he picked up from there that not only Chairi Malformation, obviously it was on the MRI, which was basically proof, but also the signs are there visually, so you can see him that it's already setting in. It's already doing its worst. So it was from there on that it was sort of officially diagnosed Chairi Malformation type 2, which again it was sort of mixed emotions kind of thing. It was sort of a revelation, but it was like I can't believe this is happening. And it was sort of just weird experience. I think as a kid I always believed that I was sort of invincible from illnesses and things like that. So at the age of 17, when you're hit with something like that, it comes home. Really comes home and it hits home. So anyway, my parents were talking about what the next steps are. The neurologist gave a couple of steps, and what the steps were going to be, and the options were obviously decompression therapy, decompression surgery, and also surgery for a shunt. So within a month, I was taken in for surgery, and decompression surgery, which I recovered from fine, and I had a week off, was sent home for a week, then I came back, and then had the shunt therapy, shunt surgery, basically. And after a 5-year recovery, most of my symptoms, or I can safely say all my symptoms are gone. Essentially, there's still a couple of aftermath symptoms of what I have, like I can stutter. There's always been a thing with my speech still. I believe that could be the cause of that. I don't get the headaches anymore. I still have issues with walking a little bit. Sometimes I've struggled to realise I'm doing it, but I think I can't find the floor, so when I turn my head quick, it's like my foot will go out that way, where I should be walking that way, for example. But this is something which is clearly a lot better from what I had. I was one of the lucky ones. I always remember neurologist saying you're a very lucky man. So yes, bit of knowledge there, and personal insight to what Chairi Malformation is. So I am hopefully going to make a couple more videos in the future. The reason for this video, by the way, was because I wanted to point out to people out there that although this is a rare condition, people aren't alone. The people who have just been diagnosed or already going through the experience of surgery, or after surgery and going through recovery, these people aren't alone. So I like to sort of dedicate this video to people out there, or sufferers out there, that any questions or any emails that you wish to ask me, I can be happily to answer. So if you like, please leave a comment at the bottom, and you can also email me via YouTube website, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So for the moment, I wish everybody all the best, and hope everyone to take care, and hopefully see you soon. Bye bye.